What's up, guys? I am super excited to start my YouTube channel finally, after wanting to start it like forever ago. Today I'm going to be recording my YouTube video as well as my podcast at the same time, so that if people can't hear my podcast, they can watch the YouTube video and watch it live. Otherwise, people can still stick to the podcast. Of course, my husband's calling me. Hold on. Hey, babe.
Hi, baby.
What's up?
I am on my way home.
Okay.
How are you?
Good. I just started recording my podcast episode.
Oh, of course I would call in the middle of it. I'm so sorry.
It's like you have like this sense for it.
Does that mean we have no dinner?
What's up, guys? First YouTube video ever. This is really exciting. Today I'm going to be shooting from two different angles. I am going to be shooting on my YouTube, and then I'm also going to be recording my podcast at the same time, so you get kind of like a live experience. Otherwise, the people who just want to listen to it on the podcast will listen to it on the podcast, since there are some people who can't access my podcast. So anyways, I'm gonna get started. I don't know who this is going to reach or what, but let's go for it. I have nothing better to do anyways, so I'm all caught up on all my shit, so. Alright, here we go. So today I am going to be taking a little bit of a different angle and focus more on mental health instead of talking about other people or exposing other people. I have been taking down notes the last week and kind of just like gathering my thoughts together because mine come in like more sporadically, different times, so I try to write things down, otherwise I will forget them. Always. I'm notorious for that. So if it looks like I'm reading, it's because I am, but these are my own personal words that I just felt were important enough to share with you guys. By the way, if you're on the podcast and listening to this, I am recording my YouTube podcast at the same time, so if it sounds like I feel like you're watching me, it's because some people are going to be watching this. Okay, so I personally feel like mental health is a really big thing, obviously. I feel like everyone should advocate for their own mental health as well as others. I feel like personally I have been preparing to be the most unfuckable that I can be. I'm in like my prime season of just finally being okay with being alone and understanding that other people are not worth struggling mentally or emotionally, because usually for me, mentally and emotionally turns into physically. And I don't have room for that in my life, not because I don't want it, but because I have other things that I should be putting my energy towards. And when I'm not feeling my best, then I obviously don't do my best. But it takes a lot to like get to that point. Like for me, it took a lot of fuck yous to my face and traumas and ended friendships and a lot of people misleading me into thinking that that they are someone that they're not. It's really sucked. It's hurt my feelings a lot. And I don't like the way that it makes me feel or how I react towards it. So I want to be unfuckable. I want to literally be that person who, you know that I care, but you can't fuck with me, like, and I'm slowly getting there. So I was thinking the other day about like how everyone always says like, oh, the universe and like God can't give you like more than you can handle, and how do I put this, how we're always saying like we're ready to like grow and absorb and like be this person and be our authentic selves, and we feel like the universe and the world is always testing us and like, why the fuck can't you just stop throwing shit my way, you know? And I think it's just really the universe saying, like, prove who the fuck you are. Like, you can't keep saying that you're this person on this other level and then not prove it. I don't know. I guess it's like the whole thing of all bark, no bite. I want to be bark and bite. Like, when the universe sends stuff my way, I am more than willing to push through it. Like, I might not want to, I might not feel like it, but if it's sent to me and it's something that I have to cope with and manage and conquer, I am all for that. And I will do that. I've proved it time and time again. And at this point, I really think that there's almost nothing that I can handle, except for maybe a few things, but I'm not going to speak them into the universe, and I'm definitely not going to even intend on slightly having a chance of manifesting them, because I do not want anything like that to happen. But think about how many times that we like sit there and we're like, I don't care what people think about me. Like, I don't care if people don't like me. I don't care, you know, if people want to be my friends or if they don't want to be our friends. And just the amount of times that we say that we're unbothered by stuff, when you know deep down inside you are bothered just a little bit. We're always a little bit bothered by something. I'm always bothered by something. I get irritated so easily. But you know, you gotta pick and choose your battles, which is just hard to decide sometimes, because I can be a really mean petty bitch, but I've learned that literally does nothing for me in life. So I wrote this down because I knew that I wouldn't say it the right way. So I suck at reading. I have dyslexia, but it's like mild, but it's still noticeable. I want to speak also with mental health on the fact that I'm a female creator, and I feel like the world is not really fair when it comes to females in general or female creators. It's like, I saw this quote the other day, and it was like, the world begs and encourages women to love and be themselves, but then tell confident and overly honest, blunt women to calm the fuck down. Kind of like actually change that a little bit to like fit how I would want to say it, but it's true. Like it's crazy. So I've been watching Disney Plus and stuff with my daughter like lately, and reliving my childhood movies, and it's insane to me the amount that just kind of like bypassed us, and I think also kind of groomed us in a way, to basically have us think like we're women and we're helpless. But then there's always like that end where, you know, the princesses come out on top, and you know, they earn the respect of others, and they conquer their shit, and they're happy, and like they get the Prince Charming, or like they don't get the Prince Charming, but then they find like self-love. I think that, you know, that's a good end to the stories, but it's always the beginning. Like my daughter's one of her favorite movies right now is Beauty and the Beast, and I really just kind of caught on to the fact that in the beginning of the movie they're singing about how, since she's like independent, like off in her own world and like reading books and like stuff like that, that she's weird and that she's an odd one. And then, you know, Prince, whatever the fuck his name is, I always want to say Gideon, but I think that is it, but it's probably not. You know, he's like, oh, you don't need to read books, and you know, you should be in love with me, and you know, we don't want a girl to start thinking for herself. And it's just like, it's still kind of like that now. Like, if we have a voice, if we have an opinion, if we have a different point of view, because we're a female, it's like, it's so frowned upon to basically think for ourselves. Like, we basically should be following and not leading, and that irritates me. And there's so many other women out there who are intimidated by women who have a voice and aren't scared to speak up for themselves and tell their stories or share their opinions, or share with other people what they think is right or wrong. And it's a very, very sad thing, because I feel like we lead by example. And if it's not a bad one, if it's not hurting anything, I mean, you can always disagree with it, but to put them down because they actually have a voice to speak with and they feel strongly enough to speak with it, that takes fucking courage with how often we're told to just sit down and shut the fuck up. If you think about it, we're constantly told to sit still and look pretty, and that is not what a woman was brought on this earth to do. Not even. So, you know, being a female creator and just going into a world like that and having your own opinions about things, and you know, the amount of comments that I get from people who are like, I wish I had your confidence, I wish that I could speak up like you, I wish that, you know, I could talk about, you know, my stories and my traumas, and I'm just so scared, and I'm so scared of the backlash, and that really fucking sucks because there are so many people out there who slander people who have anything to say or feel comfortable enough with sharing something so fucked up that happened in their life that they know that other people can relate to, because other people are too scared to say anything and talk about it because of people and their negativity and not being able to accept that there is some type of negativity in the world. And some of us don't just live off in fucking la la land trying to distract ourselves with things that aren't real life, or just, you know, constantly be on this search for serotonin and dopamine and ignoring all of our fucking problems. Like, some of us get through it by talking about our problems. Some of us grow and realize and educate others and help them feel heard because we have a fucking voice. And that's why being a female influencer can be so powerful, or just being a female in general can be powerful, because us being powerful scares the shit out of people. It scares people so much. But why? Why not get on your own level of unfuckwithable? It's not that hard. Fear is what holds you back. Fear is what keeps you stuck. Fear is what keeps you stagnant. Fear is what fucks with your mental health. Fear keeps you scared and living in a fucking hole, in a delusion. That's what I have to say about that. Here's another point. Have you guys ever noticed, like, obviously if you're new to my podcast and you haven't been following me for the last few years, like, you know, like 1,000 other people were before this, since I posted my exposing videos, people like drama, people like negativity, people like the struggle, people like to watch people struggle, and some people, I think, like to watch the struggle because it makes them feel like maybe their life isn't so shitty or whatever. But also, I think that some people do have good intentions of watching the struggle and then there being like a happy ending to it. I mean, I'm gonna convince myself of that, honestly, because I don't want to think that all people who are invested and involved in drama and negativity always have like bad intentions or like want bad outcomes for people. But then we get to the point where it's like the people who only want to believe in constant negativity and struggles, it's like people can't fucking fathom when people pull themselves out of such a dark shithole and get their stuff together and like can be happy and can make their lives a complete 180. It's like, especially when they're not around to see it, like that's one of the biggest things. Like, you're not there in someone's life every single day to see them overcome things, to see their emotions, to see how they interact with their family, to see how they act when they wake up in the morning, or, you know, going to the grocery store, cleaning their house, doing their laundry, like having conversations with people that they love, watching a good movie that makes them laugh or cry. Like, those are things that we experience every single day that make us grow into another person. And if you watched a person struggle and you just have this negative, what's the word I'm looking for? This negative viewing of them, and you're so stuck on that because you don't believe that people can change, well then you don't get to sit there and say that you can change, that you can better your life or come out of a struggle. That's not fair. You can't believe in yourself and not believe in other people, especially if it's someone that you've never even met in real life or had a real life conversation with. And it's really disheartening. It's disheartening that you have such little faith in someone that doesn't even know that you exist, or even someone that you do know in real life. If you're not there every day and you don't see the work that they're putting in, you can't say that they're the same person that they were even a month ago. Some people go through shit that changed them overnight. Some people wake up one day and go, fuck, I've really been a piece of shit. I've really been in a bad mental state. I've really fucked up a lot of things. I've hurt a lot of people. I've made some really bad choices, and they decide that day they're pulling their head out of their ass. And it's completely possible. It is 100% doable. I am foolproof of that, whether anyone believes it or not. If you guys knew me 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago, you wouldn't believe that I am the person that I am today. And that's just a key factor in there. Right there. You wouldn't believe who I am today if you knew who I was a decade ago. But have some faith that, think about that. Every time you doubt somebody, like, putting that doubt already instills it into being into the universe and having that kind of outcome, and you're manifesting negative things. you're manifesting for someone to hurt or stay the same shitty person. Sometimes we just need to have people have faith in us, and I'm sure you guys know what that's like. I'm sure that you know what it's like to just need someone to fucking believe in you for once, and not have constant negative shit shoved down your throat. Because after a while, once you hear it, you start to believe it, you start to not change. You only have this negative, why can't I think of this word? You only have this negative, viewing, whatever. I'm sure you guys are sitting there saying the word over and over again as I'm trying to think of it. But your world just becomes negative, you know? It takes 5 positives to reverse and get rid of 1 negative. Or it's like 8 positives. It's something like that. You know, just like after someone loses your trust one time, it takes 8 positive things, good things for them to do, to prove that you can trust them again, for you to be able to trust them after one thing. Think about that. It's crazy. Okay. Okay. Here's another note that I wrote down, and I don't know, maybe some of you guys will resonate with it. I don't know. So it says, see, because even though as women we finally reach that point, there comes a time where we can only take so much shit and you'll match your negative energy. And now suddenly we're the bad guy, because once again we're expected to remain resilient, but never flawed or show any basic human emotions that are negative, especially if it's a cry for help or being vulnerable. So that's why I'm a big advocate for women and their mental health. I'm glad I wrote that down, because it's true. I think it's ridiculous that women have to be like robots. We're not robots. We're filled with emotions, and we're filled with so many. I actually really feel like I'm probably one of the least emotional women out there, even though everyone's like, oh my god, you're a Pisces sun with a Cancer rising and a Capricorn moon. Like, no, I actually feel like the more trauma that I go through, I kind of just become more, I said the word the other day. My memory is so bad lately, I don't even know why. It's driving me nuts. I feel like I become more like numb. desensitized is the word I'm looking for. I feel like I've become desensitized, and I feel like so many women are becoming desensitized because of the shit that they go through and the shit that they endure and they have to put up with, whether you're a mom or a wife or not, whether it's just you trying to make it in this world. It's hard, and the expectations are unrealistic, completely unrealistic, and it's fucking pathetic, actually. Yeah, I don't like that at all. So I don't know if any of you guys know this about me. I'm gonna assume some of you guys do, but I also have BPD, which is borderline personality disorder. No, I do not have bipolar. I'm actually very glad I don't have bipolar, because I don't know how I would exist in this world with it. Bipolar is a whole nother level of something that I'm just very thankful that I don't have, and to the women who don't, or who do have it, I respect you. I know that that's hard. My mom, I grew up with a bipolar mom, and it went from 0 to 100 real quick all the time. But I forgot what my fucking point was right there. There's the ADHD for you. I think that this is just going so smoothly. I totally forgot what I was talking about, and I'm not happy about it. Anyways, so maybe it'll come back into my head later. I don't know. So, you know, going back to the whole thing of, like, women not ever feeling like they can speak up about their mental health, I am here to tell you, speak the fuck up about it. Speak up about it. Talk about it. If it makes people feel uncomfortable, that's their own fucking problem. Nobody gives a shit. I've been doing it for years now. Growing up, I wanted to be a mental health advocate, especially because I was a teen mom. You know, at 15 years old, I wanted to do so many things in my life that I still have yet to do. They're still on my bucket list. Like, I'm still gonna get these things done at some point in my life. But, I mean, I have no problem with everything that I've gone through, with all the counseling and the therapy and the fucking, the jobs that I've worked in, or, like, the experiences that I've gone through. Like, people didn't care enough to, like, make me not feel uncomfortable, right? Like, people put me in situations that I didn't ask for, and I know that you're not asking me to speak about mental health, but fuck you, and that's what you should say too. There are other people that you can help, and you can help yourself so much. You have no idea how much it helps me every time I talk about it. It's a great emotional release, and then when you get feedback about it, you know, it helps a lot too. It makes you realize you're not alone. It makes you realize that there are so many more things that you can accomplish, and you can stop letting the fear hold you back from being this person that you're meant to be. Which is how I used to be. I was very socially awkward. I couldn't talk to anybody. I started a new job and I would fucking cry and want to quit the first day. Like, I had anxiety driving. I hated being alone, but I hated being around people. Like, I would throw up. I couldn't go to a movie theater and, like, walk in between seats, because that's how bad my anxiety was. And now I walk in and I'm like, what's up? I can strike a conversation with anybody. I can look anyone in the eye. I can talk about anything. I will talk about things too personally, make them feel uncomfortable, or possibly laugh, because maybe they have the same sense of humor that I do. And then I'm like, fucking cool. I like this. This is awesome. Like, I think it's great. Yeah. I'm that bitch, but I make people laugh, so it's okay. Anywho, so I want to let you know that speaking about your mental health is not weakness. Showing that you struggle with mental health is not a weakness. Telling people how you struggle with your mental health is also not a weakness. You should not be invalidated for speaking on things that you personally do struggle with. I mean, 100%. Some people just, I guess, don't like to acknowledge the fact that they're fucked up, just like anybody else. I think at this point, everyone has their own kind of trauma, and different people respond to it differently and go about it differently. And some trauma victims shame other trauma victims, which is really, really even more fucked up. I don't like that at all. Reminds me of like elementary school and middle school. You know, just like I posted a video today on TikTok about how, you know, kids' parents would somehow, for the love of God, anytime we moved like once a year, would find out that my dad was in prison for being a pedophile and what he did to me. And people would not let their kids hang out with me anymore, even though my dad was in prison. My dad spent 15 years in prison because I was the product of that. Because that happened to me, they viewed me as a trash child and did not let me hang out with my friends or let their friends hang out with me or anything. They made me feel like I was scum at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, until I finally just decided I was never going to talk to anyone about it again until I was in my 20s. And then, you know what? I said, fuck that. I wouldn't treat someone's kid like that who came into my house and was friends with my child and was like, oh, you're disgusting, you're unholy, you need to go to church, you're a product of a piece of shit. Like, no, screw that, man. That's evil. That's gross. Like, you're just as bad for shaming me for something that I didn't ask for, or shaming any kid that they didn't ask for something like that to happen to them. I get riled up about that. How you struggle with your mental health is also not a weakness. You should not be invalidated for speaking on things that you personally do struggle with. I mean, 100%. Some people just, I guess, don't like to acknowledge the fact that they're fucked up, just like anybody else. I think at this point, everyone has their own kind of trauma, and different people respond to it differently and go about it differently. And some trauma victims shame other trauma victims, which is really, really even more fucked up. I don't like that at all. Reminds me of like elementary school and middle school. You know, just like I posted a video today on TikTok about how, you know, kids' parents would somehow, for the love of God, anytime we moved like once a year, would find out that my dad was in prison for being a pedophile and what he did to me. And people would not let their kids hang out with me anymore, even though my dad was in prison. My dad spent 15 years in prison because I was the product of that. Because that happened to me, they viewed me as a trash child and did not let me hang out with my friends or let their friends hang out with me or anything. They made me feel like I was scum at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, until I finally just decided I was never going to talk to anyone about it again until I was in my 20s. And then, you know what? I said, fuck that. I wouldn't treat someone's kid like that who came into my house and was friends with my child and was like, oh, you're disgusting, you're unholy, you need to go to church, you're a product of a piece of shit. Like, no, screw that, man. That's evil. That's gross. Like, you're just as bad for shaming me for something that I didn't ask for, or shaming any kid that they didn't ask for something like that to happen to them. I get riled up about that. Okay, so I'm gonna read a little bit again. Hold on. So, on another note, with going back to speaking about mental health and being loud about it, it shows self-awareness. It shows that I really hope I can edit some of this out. It's being self-aware of the fact that you don't neglect your feelings and that you validate yourself in knowing how you're feeling and what you're feeling about a certain situation or an emotion or a person, and that you're not shutting yourself down and numbing yourself and trying to disassociate from all of it to the point where you just become a shell of a fucking human. Just completely someone who you're not meant to be. You're the lesser version of yourself by like 90%. Because I've seen that happen. I see it happen all the time still. There are a lot of women who just keep shoving it down. Just imagine like a little tiny trash can, right? And it's all the way to the top. And you just keep shoving in more trash. Like you're stomping on it with your feet, like it's completely fucking compact full. And then you get to the point where, you know, it's overflowing and then it's everywhere and it's all over the floor, and now you're to the point where you can't even fucking walk around it, so you're sitting in the fucking corner struggling to move, to even see anything around you, to like just be you. You're stuck in the corner with all of this emotional baggage. And that's what happens when you don't empty the trash. Talk about it. Write it down in a fucking journal. Sing. Like do a personal podcast where no one even has to hear it, but you can just act like you're talking to people, and those said people aren't there giving you opinions or judgment, which is great. I mean, that can be a form of self-release. Going to therapy. Go to a fucking empty spot in the woods and scream out all of the things that people say that you are, you feel that you are, and shout back to the universe that you're not those things. There are so many healthy things that we can do as women. I just wish more people would get help for themselves. Sometimes I wish I would help myself more. I'm not perfect. I struggle. I do the trash can thing. I usually don't let it get to the point where it's on the ground at all, but, you know, no one's perfect. We all have our days and our weeks and our months and our years and our lives. Really just depends on who I feel like I am that day. You know, and another thing is that I know that it's actually like really easy to like reciprocate toxicity to other people. Like, people are fucked up to you, you get a hate comment, you know, someone cuts you off in traffic, or, you know, someone cuts you off at the grocery store line, or starts drama for no reason, or you find out someone's talking shit about you. It's so easy to just like give back that gross energy, you know. It's a lot harder to hold back and just hold your peace and know that the universe is going to deal with your ass later. Like, it's been proven. The universe will deal with that person. But, you know, like I said, we're only human. We do what we do. I am a big fan of talking shit back to people, especially online. I pick and choose who I want to do it to. It really depends on what they say to me, but if it makes me laugh and I can say a really, really mean, gross comment that makes them delete their own comment, which I've done several times, I'm very good at it, you know, then that's my good bad deed for the day, is what I like to call it. I don't know who will agree with me on this or not, but I feel like one of the biggest injustices of being a woman is just having to take on everything thrown our way. No ifs, ands, buts, or asses about it. And if we don't, then we're viewed as weak. If we can't handle everything that life has given us, we're fucking weak. We're big babies. We decided to have the children. We decided we wanted the house. We decided we wanted the job. You know, whatever. And if we just need a fucking break, then we suck. Why can't you handle it? Why can't you just go to work and just act like everything's okay? Why can't you get 3 hours of sleep and then wake up and deal with the kids and shoot the shit all day the next day? I mean, I don't know, maybe because we're human and we have options and we have people to help us. You know, with the whole fact of it takes a village to to raise a child, but then, no one really has a village anymore because everyone is against everybody and no one wants to help out, and we're all out here fucking fending for ourselves and our little humans that we created or whatever, and there's no village. There's no village. There's yours and mine and mine. And then theirs and theirs. That's it. It's not like how it used to be. I can't even imagine what it would be like being a mom and a wife in my parents' era. I almost feel like it would be better, but I'm not sure. I just feel like the world and the expectations and stuff just really suck now. I want to give an example of someone's mental health, right? So I have plates in the cupboard, and some of them are paper, some of them are plastic, some of them are glass, and some of them are ceramic. Think about it. So let's take one item. Let's take a really fat fucking cheeseburger. I love cheeseburgers. So good. Let's take that cheeseburger and let's put it on the ceramic plate, right? Super sturdy, holds a lot of shit. You can usually hold it with one hand. It's not gonna fall over. It's not gonna do anything like that. It's not gonna break. It's not gonna break in half. It's good, right? Well, then let's go to the plastic plate. So the plastic plate, same cheeseburger, right? Put it on the fucking plastic plate. You hold it. It's a little wobbly, It kind of feels like it could roll off, or it could, it's flimsy. If you move it the right way or the wrong way, it's gonna go somewhere it's not supposed to go. It's not gonna stay on the plate anymore. Let's think about a fucking paper plate, right? Shit's had enough. You put on that cheeseburger, right? Not only does it get soggy, okay, it will, it's flimsy. It's gonna snap in half, or it's gonna break in half completely, and it can't handle that. It can't handle that cheeseburger that the plastic plate could barely handle, and the ceramic plate had no problem handling. That's how some people's mental health is. That's how some people's plate is. Can only handle so much. And it's not fair when we sit here and compare our plates and our traumas and our struggles to each other, especially on a daily basis. You can't sit there and be like, oh, well, I handle this and that, and, I go to work and come home and take care of the kids, and I'm a single mom. And then, there's the mom who's at home, who's a stay-at-home mom, who has kids, who cooks and cleans and feeds her husband all day and does the grocery shopping, and they're both completely different scenarios, but one woman feels like they're fucking isolated and everyone's bitch. And then the other person, has to do it all by herself and, has to perfectly juggle everything out and manage to do everything by herself and taking care of her kids and herself, Yes, Mason. Nope. Yep, but I have 20 more minutes, okay? And Dad's on his way home. With what? Not right now, baby. I'm almost done. I was just... Dude, don't even start with me. Boring. So, anyways, yeah. Not one person's struggle should really be compared to, another person's, is all I'm trying to say. You might not understand how fragile someone's mental health state is in comparison to another person. There are some people who can just take literally anything thrown their way, and then there are other people out there who literally, any minor inconvenience, they're about to throw up and cry. I don't know. I don't really feel like that's that hard of a concept to understand.
It's weird. I was right there.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I keep pointing this way?
I don't know, but your Barbie's foot is super torn up. There you go. I got him on as best as I could. Don't take them off, because I'm not going to put them back on. Dang it. He's not. Okay. Moving on from the plate scenario. Deep. The other day I read a quote. It fucking resonated with me so hard, okay? You ready? I dream of never being called resilient in my life again. I am exhausted by strength. I want support. I want softness. I want ease. I want to be amongst kin, not patted on the back for how well I take a hit or how many. The amount of times that I have been shitted on for things that I did not ask for, that were just literally brought into my life, and I had to deal with it, and it felt like a hit in the face or a punch in the stomach every single time. No one should have to get to the point where it's like, oh man, like, how do I explain this? We want to fucking break when we've been through a lot of shit. We want to fucking break. We want to fucking break. I want to break a lot. But yeah, so anyways, I'm going to I'm gonna end this on a good note. I don't know what else to say, but I wrote down some stuff that I would like to end this with, so here we go. I am manifesting. Okay, I really hope I can edit this video. Oh, for everyone on my podcast, I'm so sorry. Say these to yourself as much as you can. Like, I'm telling you, manifestations and affirmations are the best things that you can do for yourself. So, I am manifesting healthy relationships, financial prosperity, better and bigger living space, creative transformation, constant divinity, deeper love connections, connection to my divine feminine, my truest self, and self-love. When you start manifesting and taking better care of yourself, you will start to feel better, look better, and even attract better. It all starts with you, so please take good care of yourself. Please, for the love of God, stop being neglectful of yourself. Stop not loving yourself. Stop living in your past. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop constantly worrying about the future. Live in now, but act as if you are already in your future now, and it will become that.